Eagle seemed happy about it. In front of the crowd, Pope Leo XIV gave his first blessing as the first American head of the Roman Catholic Church and addressed the crowd of devoted Catholics.
Dio vi ama tutti.
God loves
E il
everyone.
male non prevarrà.
Evil will not
Siamo
prevail.
tutti nelle mani di
We are
Dio.
all in the hands of God.
Pertanto, senza paura,
So without fear,
uniti,
united,
mano nella mano con Dio
hand in
e tra
hand,
di noi,
with God and among
andiamo
ourselves,
avanti.
we go forward.
All right, with us now, team coverage. America's Newsroom anchor Bill Hemmer is here, the story anchor Martha McCallum, Bishop Robert Barron, senior correspondent Benjamin Hall, and Jonathan Morris. They are rejoining our coverage here. I want to start with you, Bishop. Thank you very much. What does it mean for the Catholic faith and believers all over the world to now have the first ever American Pope?
Well, first of all, it's an extraordinary thing. I mean, my first reaction, honestly, was shock at the announcement. People had asked me, you know, could this man, Cardinal Prevost, be elected? And I was one of the many people that said, I just don't think an American will ever be elected Pope until we go into, you know, more of a cultural or political decline. That people want to give America control over the church as well as politics and the economy.
Okay, get out of my ear, please.
I subscribe to that view. So first I was just shocked really by the announcement. But I think it's going to lift up Catholics all over the world. You know, he's a man of extraordinary ability, international scope. He's multilingual. As head of the Augustinian order, he would have had a worldwide impact. And then the choice of the name is wonderful, I think. One of my heroes was Leo XIII. So taking that name is of extraordinary significance.
You were there for the funeral of Pope Francis, and here we are today with this extraordinary moment. Back when you were there at the funeral, obviously, talk about the conclave begins, people start thinking about who would be the next pope, the successor to Francis. Was there ever a thought in the minds of anybody that you talked to there that the next pope would be American-born?
Certainly not in those people that I talked to, and I think the general consensus was it would never be an American. Then once his name emerged, I think people began to say, well, all right, maybe, because of his rich international experience. He's a very nice man. I don't want to sound too banal in saying that, but I came to know him a bit in Chicago, and then during the last two synods in Rome. I was with him every day. And he's a very nice, gentle, kind man, soft-spoken, deeply intelligent. So all those wonderful personal qualities are there. And I think people sensed his international scope. It took him way beyond just an American identity.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.